9 important lessons I learned the hard way. In this episode, I really want to talk about 9 important lessons that paved my way to where I am now and where I'm going to. It's going to be fun because I'm going to sharing with you some things that I realized later on, which I was able to correct. And you'd be surprised that the small corrections that you make with your life can make a whole lot of difference. Hi, my name is Coach Antonio. In this episode, we're going to talk about 9 life lessons I learned the hard way. Let's go. Often, painful situations can teach us a lot of lessons for ourselves. These are the things we didn't think about that we didn't even know. And we can often have these, what we call blind spots, wherein others can see and give advice on, but our minds are not ready to hear whatever wisdom that comes with that. We need to experience them ourselves. People can always say that, oh, learn from lessons from other people. But it hurts, it hits different when it's the one, it happens to you, when the hurt happens to you directly. So I want to share with you 9 lessons that I learned the hard way because these are my experience and hopefully you'd be able to take at least one of them in stride. So let's go on with the first. Number 1, it's important to walk your own path. Here's why. I never understand this when I was young because I always followed a herd. Like I had friends who had to always follow. You know, I was go with the flow. Like my friend says we do this, I'm a follower. I'll do that. So whatever the direction is, that's where I'll go. And I always thought I need to learn how to make my own path. And it was one of the hardest things to do. And it's a brave thing for you to do because you're doing something that's different from what everyone in your surrounding is actually doing. But I didn't have the awareness to understand I was following the herd back then. You don't realize that because you're like a headless chicken who's following everyone else. And that's a problem. You want to find out who you are. One thing that helps is meditation and writing. One thing I learned is I started journaling. I started writing in notebooks. And then eventually I started writing blogs on my own. It was just private. I didn't share it back then. And looking back, it's so funny. The things that I wrote back then when I was in my mid-20s, it's really funny. It really helped me a lot discover what I really wanted to do back then. And meditation, meaning focusing on just a singular thought. Because we always have 1,000 thoughts running through our head within every minute. Did I do this? What will happen? Things that, have not happened yet. And that's the cause of overthinking and procrastination and everything else. But that's where I want to focus on. Meditation slows you down. Remember when I always say slowing down is the easiest way to speed up. So that's number 1. Learn to walk your own path. Number 2, I learned the hard way that it's important to take action, not just words. When you say you're going to do something, and I mean ready, set, go. Not ready, set, wait. There's more. And there's no go. Too many times, I would just wait. Oh, if I get a new microphone, I'll start my video. Oh, if I get better lights out here, I'll start a video. If my camera, is the cinema series that I wanted, we'll do another video, right? If I made excuses for myself every time I did something, I would never do anything. That's why perfectionists, they don't achieve anything. They're perfect, but ask them and look at what they've achieved. None really. You don't achieve being perfect right away. In my 20s, I was always asking for permission before acting because I was employed. Even if I was country director, operations director for a company back then, I still had the boss to report to in another country. And, it stops your decision making in that. And it's a huge problem. I feel like, you're a kid in school that's being scolded every time that there's something wrong. And then you don't get a pat on the back also when you do something right. They only see when you do wrong. It's important that you take action for yourself, but that really takes not just effort, but really bravery. You're afraid to do something that you're not used to. Like, I wouldn't be standing here if we didn't do our first videos way back when. I mean, look at my older videos and everything has sucked. If you didn't do it, how will you improve? When you do your first, that's where your 30th video will get better. Everything else. If you're a girl, if you do makeup, your first makeup, you would look like a clown, right? But on your 30th, you'd look like a beauty queen. Learn how to take action. Don't just say, do it. That's number 2. Moving on to number 3, which is experience everything that you have learned. So you learned something, you need to experience it. Because if you've learned it and you didn't apply it, there's no learning. Reading a book is just reading a book. But when what you perceive of what you've read and how you apply it, that's where the learning is. That's where the growth is actually at. During the first few years of what I believe was my personal development journey, I fell into the trap thinking I was already learning because I was reading books, right? I was watching videos and stuff on how to do this and how to do that, on YouTube channel whatsoever. And you know what? I had to go through 4, remember that? I had to go through 4 editors of videos that did not do anything. at all. And one, it sucked and everything else. But, you go through all those pains. Life teaches you that to feel that kind of experience for you. There's going to be setbacks and setbacks, but you have to experience it yourself. Everything that I learned back then is something that I apply now, even in business. The culmination of what this agency that we have now is based on my experience working in agencies and working with different clients and companies, being said no 98 out of 100 times, being rejected every proposal I make, going into meetings, being late in meetings, why it's important not to be late in meetings, all those things. You learn it the hard way. I lost a client because I was just late for 5 minutes for a meeting. I lost a huge client back then. I said I never want that to happen again. So again, what I want to say is experiencing the real thing is actual learning. That's the main key here. So experience what you have learned. That's number 3. Number 4 is smart work. Not working smart. Smart work. Everyone says work hard and work smart. What does smart work really mean? Smart working was something I had to learn when I was working for other people. So first I learned hard work and I didn't like it that much. When you say hard work, every blue collar person that does hard work, they should be wealthy by now. How come that the driver or the janitor isn't getting rich? They're doing hard work. It's not smart work. Then I learned how to do smart work. Then things just started moving on for me. From there. But I wasted years, trying to do work that didn't make sense for me. I was doing so many things all at the same time. I wanted to make an example of people I worked with who do a lot of things all at the same time, and they think that they're being efficient because they're doing 5 things all at the same time. But in fact, it's not smart work. Real smart work comes in when you're focused on one thing and one thing alone for, let's say, 2 hours a day. You dedicate 2 hours, 3 hours a day just for your social media content. I dedicate at least 2-3 hours of what they call focus hours of work when it's uninterrupted. There's no phones, no people, nothing whatsoever. If I need to focus on my content, I focus on that for 3 hours and nothing else. Nothing distracts me from doing something else. If it does, it derails me the entire day. I've had days, the first thing I do is pick up my phone and you hear bad news, I'm done. There's no smart work that happens with that. When you get a bad message or like your idol dies or something, or a celebrity that you follow dies, or a client rejects a proposal that you made, you're done. Like you're distracted already for the entire day and it sucks. So hard work will get you paid, yes, to a job, but smart work, it will create freedom for you. Focus on the things that you're good at, not what brings value to someone else. Focus on what you're good at because that's your money maker. Whatever you're good at, that's your money maker. You can be horrible at 98% in things in the world, but that 2% that you're good at, focus on that, and I tell you what, you're gonna be a beast if you're focused on that thing alone. Number 4, smart work. Number 5, it is about not giving up too easily. So don't give up too easily. People get so excited right away when there's a new project that happens and you go like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. And then you visit them after 30 days and you check what they've done and they go back to their old habits. They're doing the same thing again and again. And So you're excited to do one thing. You're starting a new business with your friends and after 30 days, nothing. No 30 days, no 60 days, no 90 days. Combine your idea with the shiny new toy syndrome. When there's a new project, it's a shiny new thing. Like you learn something new and then you're blind with that and you're so excited that you want to do it right away. And then problem is you have bad habits and your life would be like a pinball machine. So you're going from any direction whatsoever. So you have no direction. Bouncing from a new thing to another thing will not get you to finish anything. You can say that you started this project, that project, another project, but then what have you actually accomplished? And that's where the problem lies with most people. So because they give up easily. Like when they start a YouTube channel, right? And they put out 8 videos in 8 weeks. And they're already expecting that they're gonna get 100,000 subscribers, 50,000, 100,000 views right away in that instant. And they say, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I was excited for 8 weeks ago, but now there's nothing that's happening. So F that. I'm doing something else. I'm doing podcasting instead, right? And you move on podcasting the same thing over and over again. So you move on to things and you don't see it through. It's like planting seeds. You plant seeds and then there's nothing. You always check on it. The seeds never grow. You always check on your seed because if you keep on checking that soil, you're not letting it grow. It's gonna take a while, but you want to focus on one thing and one thing alone. You'd be really surprised what you can achieve if you focus on something for just 6 months. Just 6 months. Like I posted so many things back then that didn't bring any views or whatsoever. But I didn't stop there. If I stopped at, feeling bad about getting 5 likes or 10 likes on a post, then I would be probably doing something else for someone else, not for me. Everyone starts with one. And at one point, when you start with that one point, you just have to keep on going. That's the only way. Consistency is really important here. So number 5, don't give up too easily. By the way, if you're enjoying this episode, a subscribe to the channel would be enchanting. Focusing on number 6, which is very important. Take care of your health. I'm not just saying physical health, mental health as well. And why it's important. Thing is, in my 20s, I'm not proud of it, but I partied a lot. I probably took some illegal stuff as well that may not be normal for a lot of people. It affected my cardio, which made me wake up 2 p.m., sleeping for 12, 14 hours. That was horrible, which you cannot take back anymore. And I would worry about things that didn't matter to me, the feelings of other people, if I hurt them or not. That's why I'm not able to do things. I stopped doing a lot of things because I thought too much what other people thought. I was not taking care of my mental health at the same time and my physical health as well. So I was eating so much junk. I remember back then. Horrible. I tell you so much horrible stories about that. But really what I should have done earlier was just to quit partying, taking things that I didn't need to take, and start taking my health seriously. Ever since I did, like now that I learned how to do CrossFit, it has completely changed my whole lifestyle. I used to work out just 3 times a week, sometimes none. But now I won't be complete without any 30-minute workout doing CrossFit. And shout out to Metcon, to the Grin Method as well for that, to Coach Anton for the great workouts that I get for CrossFit. Just do any type of workouts for yourself and include any relaxing for that. Like I do meditation. I don't do yoga or Pilates. So it really depends on you. Whatever works for you. If jogging works for you, do it. Any form of exercise is good. Cleaning the house is not an exercise, okay? Some people say, oh, I clean the house or I clean my car. That is not exercise. That is called stress. 2 different things. Because you have to put your mindset in that situation wherein you're thinking about sweating, not working. Those are 2 different things. Take care of your health. Number 6. Number 7. I learned this very hard. Live and let live, right? You've heard that short phrase before. So I used to hold grudges a lot. Like I was so petty with things. I would hate people higher than me, people same level of me, any levels whatsoever. I was so petty, And looking back, I wanted to get back at people so bad. In my head, I'm thinking about ways I want to destroy them. And the only thing that's not winning is me because they're in my head, I'm not in their head. Especially someone who is higher than you. They will never think of someone lower than them. You only think of someone that's usually higher than yourself. You know the saying that a wolf does not lose sleep over the opinion of sheep. It means that the wolf, can kill the sheep anytime. So it does not care what the sheep thinks about him. It's just a huge waste of time. Nothing good comes out of it. So I learned gradually to stop holding grudges to a lot of people. And it was one of the horrible things I had, the pettiness I had when I was with the sneaker community back then. Just, there were days I could not sleep just because you were thinking of someone else. And it was just for the pettiest reasons I don't want to say anymore. Learning about Stoicism, learning about the Stoic mindset, and learning how to control your mind and what your thoughts are helped me live and let live so much more. Life has been so much simpler because you focus on the things that are more important to you rather than what's important for someone else. So number 7, live and let live. Number 8, be flexible with your goals. It means simply like this. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. I used to try and force one issue, stick to one idea, and I think I failed if I thought that it would not work. And now I believe everything is a series of tests. Life is like school. Every day there's a short quiz, there's a long quiz, there's a final exam. It doesn't stop in school. It's a series of exams that you need to take. By chance, try something and learn to adapt from it. I have a mindset wherein I would only have a plan A, which is my goal, but I'm flexible with my goal, meaning my way towards that goal, I have different plans. As long as I don't forget what my goal is. The strategy may change, but the goal never changes. That's the constant thinking that I always have. I always have, in terms of financial goal, I have a figure in mind that I always look at every morning and every night. It's right on my bedside. I have that figure in mind. I'm doing everything every day so that I reach that financial freedom that I want to reach eventually. Retiring is not an age. It's not an age like, 50, 60 or what. It's not. It is a figure that you have in mind in terms of financial that makes you free for the rest of your life. Some people can be retired at age 25. Some people can be retired at age 30. It's not a figure wherein, when you're 65, you can retire. What's left with that? 15 years of what, right? If your expectancy is 80 years, you have 15 years to do what? Sit in a rocking chair? I don't know. Life can be more fun if you have a goal because that's your why. When you wake up, you know your why you wake up every day doing this, and why you're excited to sleep because you want to wake up next day because you know you're doing something 1% better to reaching that goal. So that's number 8. Be flexible with your goals. Last but not least, for every action, there's an equal reaction. Let me explain. If you take action, you might not get the results that you want, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you will get a result. Not doing the work today means that you will not get the results you want tomorrow. Doing the work today means that you will get a chance that you will get the result that you want for tomorrow. And that's one of the reasons why people overthink, because they're worried about tomorrow because they're not focused on now. Most people think about, oh my God, what if I don't pass my exam tomorrow? What have you been doing the past 5 days? Have you been studying, or have you just been watching Netflix, right? Where's your focus at? It depends on when your focus is now. Because if you've reviewed and you've studied hard the past 5 days, you wouldn't be worried about tomorrow's exams and what the results will be, because you're confident about it regardless of what your scores might be. It's the same in different things. Like if I have a presentation tomorrow, I don't worry about it because I've done the work the past few days. I've done my research. For example, on that client that I'm going to meet the next day, I have bullets. You can't have a gun without bullets going to war. That's useless. You can't threaten anyone with a gun. It's useless. Always be in action. Life is just easier if you keep it that way. Always be in motion. That's one thing I learned when I was in college. Always be in motion, because when you don't take action, you still get a result, and it's usually one you don't want. So always be in action. Life is just easier that way. So that's number 9. For every action, there's an equal reaction. That's all I have for you today. If you found value in today's episode, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment in the comment section down below. And I'll see you again on the next episode. Peace!